members Niall Ó Donnghaile and Frances Black. Please.
Cathaoirleach and Tánaiste, can I apologise to you for missing the first part of your presentation this morning? It's been touched on slightly, Tánaiste, in relation to the issue of Brexit, and of course, regardless of a hard, soft border, many of us don't want a border at all, and certainly the people in the north voted to remain, and that of course has to be the central component in all our considerations going forward here, whether that's negotiating north, south, east, west, or indeed with EU colleagues. Tánaiste, you mentioned, I didn't quite catch whether in terms of an impact assessment and officials carrying out impact assessments, was that the Department of Justice in the north, your own department, or indeed both departments? That's good. And indeed in terms of the, because all of the positive cross-border policing initiatives that you've outlined are obviously in jeopardy. Because of the uncertainty and because of the unknown nature of what's ahead of us in the time ahead. So obviously any kind of border, hard or soft, doesn't particularly advantage the well-being of people right across this island. But finally, Cathaoirleach, Minister, I don't know if this is featured in your engagements thus far, and hopefully it will, as certainly the Taoiseach's national dialogue progresses and your own engagements progress. But obviously there are thousands upon thousands of Irish citizens in the north who, I presume, under their rights under the Good Friday Agreement, will remain as Irish citizens post-Brexit. That also equates to them remaining as EU citizens. So will they then also be afforded the rights and entitlements as EU citizens living within the north? Because obviously it's of deep concern to many of us that the British Prime Minister is someone who certainly has campaigned strenuously against the Human Rights Act, for example. This government and successive governments have refused to introduce a Human Rights Act for the north, despite it being a commitment under the various agreements. And also, finally, Cathaoirleach, as well as ourselves as Irish citizens living in the north, obviously a lot of other EU nationals who live in the south may travel into the north to work in Dungannon or in Strabane or in Newry. Obviously, when considering issues under the common travel arrangements, that we do also need to think of our new Irish and our migrant workers who are living in the south and working in the north and may be very adversely impacted as a result of England's decision to leave the EU.
Senator.